Okay, we're back. Maybe this time with a little less interruption. Sorry, it got a little hairy there for a minute. But we are back and still working with Aurora on her place and sit command. And one of the things I had told Megan is that our struggle seemed to be breaking. She understood to get up on the platform with place. She understood that she needed to sit when she was there. But when I would say break, she didn't seem to understand that it was time to move. So we're working through that a little bit more.
Yes, so how I'm showing her and giving her encouragement to want to break is, first of all, I've taken the treat away from getting on place and getting on sit. She knows how to do that. She's confident with that. So I'm marking it with the clicker, but I'm not rewarding it with the treat. I'm just telling her good. I've now switched the treat to come in with the break to give her that motivation to want to break. Along with that comes leash pressure, break, good girl, and then followed by praise. So using the pressure to communicate with her, it's time to get off. And then I'm kind of using my body language and the clicker and treat to motivate her, letting her know she did the right choice. Break, yes, good girl. As soon as she makes the right choice, I'm marking it with yes. Again, encouraging that motion to continue to come off the pot. Good. So some smaller dogs especially, once they're even confident jumping up on things, they might be a lot more weary getting off of things because they have to now jump down. So we're just going to continue working on this to keep building her confidence with that break. Good girl. And then we're going to start incorporating a recall, which is going to be fun. Please. Good. Let's see, whining. Off, Lacey. Break. Yes. Good girl. So a lot of people's mistakes, and I tell Allison this all the time because she gets excited. Please. When she sees the smirk come out of the dog, please. Is don't take the leash away too soon. So even though you see the dog knows it and they understand it, please. They're not going to do it all of the time. And in the beginning of training, it's really, really important to set the tone with that consistency. Break. And so once the dog starts seeing they can manipulate the situation without the leash, that's when you kind of start to get that hit or miss with your commands. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. Because in the beginning, sometimes you made them and sometimes you didn't. But with that leash, you're going to always make them follow through. Break. Good girl. There we go. Please. Oh, please.
And one of the things that Megan told me on Monday, which I thought was interesting, was, and this happened more so at the beginning than it is now, although you're still seeing it a little bit, is Aurora will fight the leash and fight the pressure of the leash. And so instead of quitting in that moment, you just sit it out and wait for them to give in to the pressure of the leash and pull the, continue on instead of stopping what you're doing.
Yeah, going off of that, a lot of people see that hesitation and fear in the dog, please. And it kind of makes them want to stop. They're afraid they're going to hurt the dog or make the dog scared. But really, if you just kind of wait them out, like Allison said, and just kind of lightly hold that pressure in the direction you want them to go, they will give in. And then when they do, you mark and reward it. Great. Good. So obviously, you're not forcing them. You're not pulling them towards you in any crazy way. Just enough pressure to let them know, hey, this is where I need you to go. And then you just kind of wait it out. And usually it only takes a few seconds. Great. Yes. Good. And then they get it. Off, Gracie. Good girl. Great. Yes. Good girl. So now what I'm doing is kind of phasing that leash pressure out of the break and seeing if she's starting to pick up on the word, please. And having more encouragement to want to do it on her own based off of this repetition we've been doing these past few minutes. Great. Good girl. So still using the same marker, clicking and rewarding, just not as much leash pressure guidance now. I want her to make this decision on her own. Please. Good girl. Nope. Sit. Good. Great. Good girl. So a lot of times in my training, you'll see me also use my body, please, as a way to put pressure on or off the dog. So when a dog gets up and I don't want them to, you'll see me always kind of step in. And that's just called spatial pressure. using the pressure of my body, walking into the dog kind of, it's just like a person getting too close to you. You get a little anxious, a little intimidated, a little uncomfortable. So you kind of take a step back. It's the same thing with these dogs. So once they're doing the right thing, break. Good. I'm going to give them that space. Please. Good. So she gets up. Nope. Just use my body right there. Go into her and follow through with the leash. Good. Break. That's just another quick tip. If you have a dog getting up a lot, please. Good. And the next thing we're going to start working on, like I said, is recall. Oh, I didn't want to give you a treat for that. Just kidding. There you go. So the way I start incorporating that is, again, I just use a shorter line to get started. Please. I want to make the picture pretty clear and direct on what I want the recall to be. We'll get to the bigger picture of the recall later. But right now, I just want it to be come and sit when you get to me. So I'm going to give her some guidance. Once she drops into that sit, I'm going to click in her warning. And then comes her break. Break. Good girl. Again, using my body to motivate that movement. So we'll do that again. Place. So I like to use place when I first teach a recall just to get some stability and distance between me and the dog. Good girl. Guide her towards me with that leash pressure. Good. Get to sit. Nope. Go back. Yes.
Those little legs.
Okay. Right. Off, Lacey. Place. Good.
Megan, talk to me on Monday about place and sit being the good foundation to leading us to other things, because there's a lot more that I want her to know, but those are the beginning foundations. So you can't start at roll over or lay down without place and sit. So you get these and you start to build on those foundations.
Yeah, place is just going to give you the stability that you need to build off of everything else. Right. Place along with a calmer state of mind with your dog, which is what we all want in general. You need that calmer state of mind. Right. Good. So that we can teach them and they can actually understand, place, what it is that we're teaching. Because again, if they're crazy and not in that calm state, we're trying to teach them something, they're not really comprehending anything. Stop. Yes. Good girl. Right. So now I just repeat this, please, over and over and over. And then eventually we would start working on recall outside of the place command. Yes, good girl.
Show them, let's flip the. The other thing we did was to flip the cot on Monday, and it was amazing how she reverted back to not knowing what to do. Today, she seems to still be able to get it, although you can't really see her. I'll tip it. Yes, Marty, I am in training as well. You're not wrong.
Yes.
I'm so used to Merida just coming when I call her and being able to go off leash that Aurora has never had that kind of training, so we've got to get there.
Yes, good girl.
But once you flip over the object that they've been placing on, frequently you start over again and you have to work through it all over again because it's a whole new place.
Yes.
It's a whole new thing for them to place on. So it's essentially a whole new command you're having to work through it first.
Yeah, anytime you're introducing a new object, you're going to see some hesitation come out of the dog because it's something new, something they haven't done yet. So you're going to have to work them through it, please. And for Aurora, it was as simple as just flipping this over. These corners here, again, that's spatial pressure. They intimidated her because she didn't understand what they were. She was afraid to go through them. But we worked with the leash. We guided her, gave her the confidence, letting her know these things aren't going to harm you. And sure enough, we went to go do it a few days later, and she wasn't afraid anymore. So it's also a confidence building for me. Please. Good. Smell those lampposts. Yes. Good girl. Nope. But so with her, we just started working on her sit with all this. She did not want to sit the first couple of minutes we were working with her, but we've got a good definite sit with her now, so now I'm just very adamant about making her hold the sit while she's being rewarded. So if her little tush comes off the floor even for a second, release pressure goes right back on and she doesn't get the reward. Oh. Yes.
Okay, we're trying this again. Sorry, my Wi-Fi out here is not the best.
Break. Okay. Come on.
So you guys have got, she is doing great, Marty, for 5 months. It is amazing how much they can.
It's a great product for barking. You can find it here.
Yes, the pet corrector is a great deterrent for sure. But she is doing great. She is doing great for 5 months, and we're excited to see all the different things she learned. So we'll check back in with you guys periodically as we continue to do training and continue to teach her things. I'm hoping that by December, we of course have some new things incorporated in that we can share with you. So we will continue to check in. If you are interested in having Megan for training for your dog, she is with Co-op Canine. I'll say this real quick with my mask off. Co-op Canine. You can find them on Facebook. I'll also share a link in the comments just in case you want to get in touch with her. She also does puppy classes at our friend's Doggo's. It is a dog park and pub on Battleground near Midtown, right towards downtown here in Greensboro. And her one puppy class is getting ready to end, and she'll restart again, I believe, in January. And so if you want to get in on that, you can contact Co-op Canine for more information on how to enroll in their puppy classes. And you might find me there with our other puppy, trying to get him some lessons as well. But keep tabs on Aurora. We will continue to share her progress and her story as she learns new tricks and new tricks to the trade. So thanks for joining us and for your patience as we've gone through all these different videos. I really appreciate you sticking with us. And we'll continue to work through this. But thank you guys so much for joining us.